Okay, what's up, y'all? This is your girl, Misha Mish, and I'm super excited to share with you today what does it mean to market intentionally. So, I really wanted to get in on what intentional marketing looks like because there are differences. There are huge differences in results and outcomes when it comes to marketing intentionally. And so, think about this. Say that you have a product and you're like, oh, I have this new product. It's it's $10 and I want to sell 100 of these products today in one day. You want to make sell 100 products within 24 hours because you feel like that's easy because the price is right. It's $10, right? So you are going to get out here and you're going to do what you think it takes to sell 100 $10 products. Now, when you do that, you actually decide to only do what you can do. So you take your hands and your feet with your products on your back, and you go out here door to door. You're like, I'm going to sell 100 of these and I need to get it done today. So the average, if you go, the number process, you go through your numbers, you talk to 100 people, you're going to, at the very least, get 10 people to buy from you. You're going to at least get 10 people to straight up give you $10 cash and buy your product. Of course, anything more is great. Um, you're less likely to have a 100% factor just doing door to door because you're taking your effort, your energy to go to each person's door. Now, you also decide, hey, guess what? Because I want to make 100 sales for my $10 product, I am going to go online and find 100 people to talk to so that I can, in addition to getting some online sales, or in addition to getting my door to door sales, I'm going to get some online sales by individually talking to several people. But instead of individually talking to them, so it's not like you're having one on one conversations where you still have to spark up a conversation, set the tone, and then deliver your pitch. You decide to tell everyone all at once. You say, you know what? I'm just going to get on my social media platform. I'm going to get here on Facebook. I'm going to get here on Instagram. Maybe I should just go live. So either way, you do a post or you go live. And you're just like, hey guys, I'm trying to sell 100 of these products today. And I need your help. Can you help me? It's $10. All right. I'll put a link up here. $10. I'm selling my product. I'm like, hey, I have a picture of it. Look at this. It's really good for you. It's healthy. You're gonna love it because you like this type of stuff. You're not talking to anybody. You're just like, yeah, I just really want your help. So if you can help me because I'm a good person and I'm trying to sell 100 products today, I'm going to make sure that this video is saved on the platform so that you can come back to it at any time while I go out here door to door and sell my products because I need to get rid of $110 products today. Now, do you think that your efforts in both of these manners are intentional and effective? I could say that they are intentional. I could say that. Are they effective for you? Well, if you just go off based on statistics, history of the numbers game, and how it works, if you actually went to 100 individual doors, knocked on them, talked to 50 of them, and got anywhere between 5 to 10 people that bought your product, then you still got 90 pieces of inventory left. Now, on your Facebook and Instagram, when you went live, I'd say you probably reached, anywhere from, well, it really just depends on your reach. I mean, that will depend on your numbers as well. So, how many followers you have, where your reach is, as far as the organic method of the algorithm, and where you fall. So, if you haven't posted in a while, then the algorithm will be against you. If you post every day or if you post a lot, there's some movement. The algorithm will be like, oh, well, what is she doing? Let's show her or him. So it all depends on if your video was in favor of the algorithm or not, and if it reached people who weren't following you, or if it even reached people who are following you. How did you get it out there? Did you use a group? Because groups right now are fogged up, and unless people have their notification bells on, you're gonna have to ask them individually, hey, check out this specific video. If it was on your timeline, it all just depends on, who is following you and if you show up on their timeline. And then if the message that you created for your audience, if it was the right message, you just may get some clicks. You just may get some sales. If it wasn't the right message, if it was too vague, everybody will think this very same thought. Oh, well, that's not for me. That's what they will think. They will say, oh, well, that's not for me. So it doesn't really apply. Oh, that's nice, but I don't need it right now. You're not speaking to them. You're not pulling their heartstrings. You're not pulling on them logically. So you're not going to get any sales. So what does it mean to market intentionally? So friend, listen, when you're marketing intentionally, that also applies to the frequency. And so there's some, gurus out here talking about, oh, you don't have to do a lot. No, you don't. However, when you're marketing intentionally, especially when you have a deadline and trying to reach a goal, you're going to be pushing out, boom, 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 pay out, pay out, pay out. You're going to be pushing out your service or your product because you want people to attend your event, because you want to make a certain number of sales by a certain date. So you're going to be pushing that out as often as possible. Of course, not like spam. You got to know the difference between marketing and spamming, which is why, friend, you have a plan. You have a marketing strategy, because that is spaced out over a period of time, at least 30 days minimum, and then even further, because you're trying to reach your goals and you're not trying to, oh my goodness, last minute, I'm running out of money. Just know, I've heard it all before. I'm running out of money. I don't know what to do. Deadline's coming up. I started last week. I have 3 weeks left. We have to be realistic, number one, with our marketing. But when you're marketing intentionally, it's going to be about frequency. Remember, your audience has a whole life. I mean, they just do. Your audience is not really thinking about you respectfully. They're not thinking about you. But when you show up in their face, somehow, some way, whether that's via text, via email, via an ad on social or through Google, driving down the street, there's a billboard ad. We see them all the time. Those are that's the more traditional route, but they work. Um, how else do you reach your audience? There's so many different ways, but you want to reach them the way that they can be reached. So some audiences can't be reached through email because they don't ever check their email. Some audiences can't be reached um, through just going live on a social media platform because they're not scrolling every day. They might scroll a few times a week. They might see it, but if they're on deadline, they're going to miss out. So even if you go through all the different paths, you still need to space out your marketing enough to where there's a rhythm to it. You want to have a rhythm, whether that's every other day, whether that's 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on, 3 days off. If it's every single day, then whatever the inspiration is, same time in the morning, same time afternoon or evening. However it goes, when you create a rhythm, that is one way of marketing intentionally. When you're getting feedback, so if you need people to show up to your event, when you get feedback, you're marketing intentionally. That's what you want. You don't want nobody not saying anything. You want people talking. And so whether they're saying, oh, I can't come, well, there you go. Because now you know who can't come. And that's one less plate or seat that will be reserved and it can be open. So what's another way of marketing intentionally? You're getting feedback from your audience and then um, having that rhythm. So that's two ways right here. Having a rhythm with your marketing plan and strategy. And then when you're getting feedback, what's another way? Leading up to the day, it is, for you, it may seem chaotic. Hear me out. If it seems chaotic leading up to the day of the launch, the event, whatever it is that you're having, something is working. When it seems that there's chaos, something is working. And therefore, now you have feedback to provide for that thing. You have to keep your message on repeat. So that looks like having your messaging always matters. But what needs to be in your messaging is your 3 or 4 pillars. So, it could be anywhere between 3 and 4 pillars. So as you are talking about your product or service, you need to keep that on repeat. Okay. Yes. Hey. Somebody's following. Find a rhythm for your marketing and follow it. Yes, that's what I mean. But keeping your pillars on repeat. So whatever it is that you talk about. So what do I talk about? I'm always talking about streamlining. What else? Monetizing and productivity. 3 pillars. Forgot. But I have 3 pillars. It's in the group if you missed it, but it's in there. I have 3 pillars, and these are the things I'm always talking about. So therefore, I don't always, for the next 12 months, have to recreate new content. I have stuff that already, and that's why you want to make it evergreen. There's already a video on evergreen too. So I'll be sure to have that up at the top at the end of this video. But these are ways that you are marketing intentionally. So when people are repeating and hearing the same thing on repeat, it's like learning a song. Remember how we used to learn songs? Whenever you was trying to learn the words, you just kept listening to it. So it's that habit. It's that habit as content creators, like, okay, you have a whole album of content and you just put it out there. So you need to have a vault for where your stuff is. My stuff is going to be on YouTube and in the Facebook group. So that's like the free stuff. That's where you're going to find the vault of information, and you're probably going to hear the same different things. Delivery may be a little different, which it should, because you have a diverse audience. But the content, as far as the knowledge, is the same. I'm always talking about messaging. I'm always talking about drivers to get your audience to find your voice. I'm always talking about the different platforms. Maybe there's new trends. So I will talk about the new trends that are happening. So these are things that you're always, I'm going to be talking about money. Next month, it's going to be about wealth. So I'm going to really hone in on money and what it looks like and who's ready to make their first million in the next 3 to 5 years. So yeah, this is part of me marketing intentionally and keeping it on repeat. So what do you have to do? You, my friend, I know you have plenty of content. So now you just kind of need to organize that. Set up your 3 to 4 pillars. What are they? What are the 3 to 4 things that you always talk about? And then in your content budget, I call it a content budget now. In your content budget, which is a library of content, it's kind of organized to where, okay, this is more of the awareness pieces, education, right? Then this is more of the interest pieces or the desire, where you're drawing your audience in. These pieces are going to do that. And then you have your section for action. So this is straight to the point. You want people to take action right away. So, and this is called a content budget. I should pull something up, but kind of like, okay, you know how you do your financial budget on a spreadsheet. Some people do, or I use Mint too. So whatever the case, you have your budget where you allocate. Yes, right? So same thing with your content budget. You have awareness, okay? Have that as a category. You have interest. You have desire, and then action. So those are going to be the like categories that you want to put your content in, and then of course create your captions accordingly, so that your audience actually knows uh, and can, I guess, intake the information clearly. So all of your content has to be super clear. If it's not clear, then you can tell, you're not getting any money from it. But when you're getting feedback, oh yeah, then you're either going to make it better or you're going to change something, right? Well, you're going to make it better, because if they like it, then you love it and you're going to make more of it. If they don't, then you can change something. Are you marketing intentionally? Tell me the last thing that you probably launched. Was it, did you launch a program? Did you launch a project? Did you have an event? And then tell me what you did for the marketing pieces. What was the marketing pieces that you did? And then I want to see, how did it work for you? Did you get a maximum amount of people to that event that you were trying to get, or more? I'm just telling you, think about people, the popular brands or the popular content creators, the popular influencers. Think about, even in when it comes to like music and people who get their songs on the radio, then they can get on the charts. The more times that people are like, ooh, play that song over. When people are liking it, that's the marketing piece. So for like people that make music, they want their songs on the radio. So they're like, okay, put my song on the radio, and they're calling all the radio stations. I know it's like the old school way, but you call all the radio stations and you're like, I have a song, how can I get it to you? And so then they play it. And then if people like it, then they play it more often. And then it gets on the US, different types of charts. And when your song gets on a chart, okay, now you can call places like, hey, can I come and sing? Now these are other ways that you're making money. These are all marketing pieces though for them, because their brand is growing, they are growing. What you should not believe. So here are a few things that you shouldn't believe is, oh, people are getting tired of me. Oh, goodness, no. No, 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 no. If you ever think that, take that thought back. Oh, people are getting tired of me because you feel like, oh, I've been posting 5 times a day for the last 5 days. They're getting tired of me. They're like, no, I'm telling you, if they didn't see it on Monday, if they didn't see it on Tuesday, you posted 5 times, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they might see one post. By Thursday, they're like, oh, I have an influx of this content creator's information. Well, let me see what they about. And then guess what? The algorithm changes for that person. So if that was you, if I'm scrolling, now my timeline changes because I've seen more than 1 or 2 videos of you or posts, whatever I'm engaging in, whatever that thing is. And then, and that changes for me. So it only really benefits you. The frequency that you're putting out the content, it benefits you because the people that are watching, they're like, okay, I am seeing more of this. Now, what are they talking about in real life? It might have took 10 pieces of content, but guess what? You got their eye. Something about it caught their eye. And so I had an event on Zoom. I invited word of mouth through my friends list. I also had a co-host who invited people. We had 30 people show up and loved what we taught. Also, what was the goal? How long did it take you? So did it all happen like within a day? Did it happen within a weekend? That is really cool that 30 people showed up to an event that you had. Word of mouth is one of the best pieces of marketing. I would say the first. that word of mouth is like the first piece of marketing before we have all of this technology, all of these tools, right? And it's even better to collaborate because you can have more people show up. And so, do you feel like you were marketing? I have a question for you again. Do you feel like you were marketing intentionally, or did you just kind of have to do it like, I'm going to just do what I can and hopefully people come? How did you feel while were you doing that? Because when it comes to marketing intentionally too, if you feel like you're doing too much, that's when you do more. Yes, there is nothing wrong with too much marketing. It's only more viewership. That's it. So think about when it comes to advertising, you're going to put money into pretty much a platform that will change the algorithm for your user, for the audience that you're speaking to. And so it kind of, with advertising, kind of forces them to check this out because they're on a free platform. But when you are organically just kind of putting yourself out there, whether that's word of mouth, doing some lives with your content, with just stuff you design, then what, if you feel like you're doing too much, you're doing just right. And actually, you could do a little bit more because you're not going to do that forever. It's literally what, a week or two, a month at the most, possibly. So it's something to really think about. You're never doing too much. Your audience is never tired of seeing what it is that you're doing because you're just becoming more visible. It was 2 weeks from decision to create it and spread the word until we had the event. Okay. I think if I would have been intentionally, we would have had. Look at the number difference. You see what I mean? Numbers never lie. And so that's like 10%. Is that 10%? No, 20. Okay, I'm really bad at math. So anyway, pretty much you have 30 people show up to your event, but you don't feel like you were intentionally marketing. You just kind of did what you could, did what you were comfortable with. You stayed in your comfort zone, and you got 30 people, which is really good. Now, if you had actually been intentionally marketing, overdoing it for 2 weeks, and that's it. It was only 2 weeks. The event will come to an end. So if you were going hard for those 2 weeks, you possibly could have had 300. So why is it important to market intentionally? Because if you're not going all in for yourself, then do you even believe that you can make a difference in your audience's life? Do you even believe it? Something to think about, because we are so often comfortable where we're at, or we have self-talk, we have self-doubt, or we're thinking about what somebody else is thinking or thinking. Now, this is me, because I used to be, really, really shy about, oh my God, I know these group of people over here. I know this group of people. They know me like this, but they know me. And so you have conflicting interests with yourself, and now you're divided. So, see? But all that changed. All of that has changed. And it took a lot of growth for me to get to this point of nobody cares. What I have is for the right one. Now, of course, you have to, get your messaging right. So I got my messaging right. And now I know exactly who I'm speaking to for whatever it is that I'm offering at the time. So you can have different avatars, not just like one forever, but for whatever it is you're doing at the time. Look, this is what I'm doing. This is for you. And I'm being more frequent with it. So, friend, market intentionally. Okay. Be intentional about your marketing. No holds bar. Don't hold back. Just keep going and repurpose, because you have rest. You have that time of rest. So you need to repurpose your content. What I'm encouraging my clients now to do is to make 60 pieces of content or 120 pieces if you want a longer break. But 60 pieces is the start. And then, so you go hard creating that, and then we automate. And then that goes up for next month. Switch it around. They don't have to be on the same day for the next month. Now, when you're ready, besides lives, because lives, of course, are live, but when you're ready to recreate different content, or you're about to start a new idea, a new product, a new launch, then that will be new content that you will create. And then, boom, you have plenty of time to create that, and then you put that into your content budget. You put that in there, schedule it. So it's it's just a little bit of a change in thought process, and committing to the commitment of, I'm not doing too much. How some people, well, I know some people that would be like, oh, you doing too much. Yes, I want to do a lot. So that should be your attitude. Okay, great. Now I'm going to do more. Somebody's like, you're doing too much. Yeah, well, now I'm going to do more. I seen on my Facebook timeline, somebody said that one of her friends was upset that she was always talking about her business. And I was like, well, and she at first had gotten shy about it, like, oh, I'm sorry that I intruded your timeline. But ultimately, she's not her customer, so she can absolutely disregard that. So for her to tell her that was irrelevant, because she's trying to reach her audience. So continue talking about your business on your personal Facebook. So I don't know who says that you shouldn't do that. Use every method that you have access to, that where your audience is. Of course, you want to be where your audience is. So if you have access to that, boom, make it happen, get it done. and overdo it. Ha 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 ha. Some people say, don't overdo it. Overdo it. Overdo it because your audience has a whole life that I promise they're not thinking about you. But as you continue showing up, they could be like, oh, I forgot about this. Yes, okay. I do want to go. I do want to support. I do want to buy, whatever the case. So, market intentionally, friend. That's all I have for today about marketing intentionally. I could not wait until Thursday. This was part of Thursday strategy, but I couldn't wait until Thursday. So I did it today. All right, friend, you guys. You have to get it done and overdo it. Boom. All right, guys. You have a great rest of your day. Ciao.